am super passionate about people development, and I think that stems from when I got out of grad school. I never intended to be in sales. I actually took a job in sales. This is how old I am. I answered an ad in the newspaper for a job that was 100% commission, no benefits, and I attribute a lot of my success in life to my naivete because at the time I didn't know that those jobs were, people said, oh, it's a scam, if they're not willing to pay you a salary, then it's not legit. All I knew was I was a ferocious student. I excelled in college and in grad school and had just gotten out and was still in the mentality. And so I showed up for training, and there were 6 or 7 other people in training with me. I was by far the youngest, and I was actually the only woman. And I sat in the back of the room because I was completely intimidated. And I took copious notes. And when I tell you, if the sales instructor had said to me, Jennifer, we want you to go out and hang from the Brooklyn Bridge and scream that we have advertising for sale, I certainly would have done it, because I just didn't know any better. So lucky for me, the sales instructor, what he was teaching, his methodology actually worked, and it was an engineered sales process. And it was, here's the presentation that you should do over the phone when you call. Here's what you say to get the decision maker on the phone, and here's the presentation, and these are the primary objections you're going to hear. If they say this, you say this. When you get the appointment and you do the presentation, here's how the presentation goes. Here's the visual aids you use, and here's when you use them. And here's how to fill out a contract, so on and so forth. And I remember he told us to go home and memorize the presentation. And I was so disappointed when I came back in the next day and he didn't ask me to recite it. I had memorized it like the Gettysburg Address. I was up half the night, right? I think I was the only one in the class that had done that. But what was interesting about the whole thing, and this is a long-winded story, but my point is, fast forward to the very first sales meeting. I went out every day for the first 3 days and did exactly what he told me to do. And sure enough, every single day I sold something. Every single day. 3 sales, walked back into the sales meeting that night, and all of the other people that were in the sales meeting were grumbling and complaining. He lied to us, this product's so hard, this place is a scam. And I'm thinking to myself, no, it was actually pretty much exactly as he described it was going to be. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a lot of hard work, and I had to make a lot of phone calls, and I ran a lot of appointments. But at the end of the day, if you sell 1 deal a day, you're going to make exactly the money that they promised. And so I felt like I was on track. And it turns out that, it came out in the sales meeting that everybody was doing everything other than what we were instructed to do, because all of these people had experience, they knew better, they knew a better way, they knew a shortcut, they knew an angle that I, as a naive, brand new salesperson who'd never sold before, didn't know. And that actually worked out to my advantage. And so I joke that, all of my success is attributable to my naivete. But that taught me a very important lesson. And it was one of the best things that could have happened to me, because that was the day I became a student in the craft of sales. And I realized that there is a methodology to doing sales, just like there's a methodology to being an architect, to being a coder or a database developer, or a pipe fitter. Like, there are specific steps that you can take to enhance your chances for success. And I just became a voracious reader, and I learned everything there was to know about sales and about selling, different sales methodologies, etc. And then when I got into management, I realized there's a wealth of information available on how to be a manager. And so I became a student of the craft of sales management. And now, even now there's, in our day and age, like, there's no excuse for not taking in all of the information that is readily available at your fingertips. Now I definitely can't absorb all the information that's available through YouTube and, and everywhere else. But I definitely, at this point in my career, am still a student of the craft of sales, but I'm also a student of the craft of leadership. So when I say my passion is in people development, I love helping junior salespeople learn the craft of sales and get really great at it and make a ton of money and be very successful. I love teaching frontline managers who are first, new in their role, how to make the transition from sales into sales management, and then how to get them to be great sales managers and to multiply themselves and be tremendously productive. And now I enjoy taking experienced managers and making them into really great leaders. Some of my greatest joys now in my career are looking on LinkedIn at all of the people that I've had the opportunity to work with and seeing all the great things that they have gone on and done in their leadership careers. So I would say that is probably my biggest passion.